Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 199 based on novel. So let's start. Within the deep ice-cold cave, the ice bear walked alone, feeling gleeful. No matter what, I've finally left the deep abyss world area. To the ice bear Luo Feng, the rest of Demon Note Mountain, except for the deep abyss world, had no threat to Luo Feng. He proceeded forward and maintained a quick pace. After a while he already reached the end of a cave. There the caves all intersected, a total of 395 cave pathways. The ice bear looked about stupidly. Big trouble. I'm in trouble now. Ice bear Luo Feng suddenly realized a problem. The only memory I have is of the path I took to get here. And now I have no way to follow that way back. In Demon Note Mountain, a cave connected to hundreds of others, any single one would connect to many others. The path was incredibly complex, it could be said to be a super maze. Even the normal warriors that came to explore Demon Note Mountain would usually memorize their old paths back. If they didn't, and explored randomly, it would take many years before they actually managed to find their way out of the maze. What do? I've never been in this area before. The other 394 caves ahead, which should I choose? The ice bear stared at the huge caves ahead, some bent about, some straight, some bent to the sides. He didn't know what to do at the moment. Paths he had never explored. And he couldn't backtrack. Luo Feng swiftly pondered within, there's no other way, just one, I have to find other humans. The other humans should know the way out. After all, under normal circumstances, those able to get over here are able to get back. People that have such bad experiences like Luo Feng, which force them to end up in different places, are extremely rare. Ice bear Luo Feng randomly picked a cave and entered, half a day later. So unlucky, I actually met a beast blocking the way. Luckily, it's only a stupid universe-level beast. An incredibly skinny yellow-robed man with two white horns on his forehead gazed at the ice bear before him, after which he casually brandished two large hammers from his back. Two red hammers, stupid beast, die before me. The skinny man instantly became a demonic blur and rushed at the ice bear. The ice bear waved its ice-huge paw, fast as lightning. How can that be? A universe-level beast, how can it move that fast? The skinny man stared wide-eyed in shock. That huge bear paw was so fast he couldn't dodge it. It smacked right into him, smashing him into a mess and knocking him hard into the side walls. The tattered body fell on the floor. The ice bear looked at the body on the ground, after which it walked up to it and began to search for items. There's actually no AI or quantum computer, so unlucky. The ice bear instantly became a blur, transforming back into Luo Feng's earth body. Luo Feng looked at the body, frowning. I need to find a map out of Demon Note Mountain, and maps are normally stored in the warrior's memories. Also, they would normally carry a quantum computer to record the paths. However, this punk doesn't seem to have one. Right, the 9-star ocean place, even though some upper echelons have quantum computers. But this place is after all an aboriginal place, those that have quantum computers are few. Luo Feng was troubled. Those aboriginals indeed had the pathways memorized in their memories, however searching through memories was indeed troublesome. Normally hypnotism through the soul was easy, the easiest was to forcefully wipe a portion of their memories, the hardest was to dissect and search through. Even a master of soul techniques could easily wipe a person's memory. However, to actually search through the mysteries and recover specific information was still extremely hard. And these aboriginals were all at least universe level. Universe-level warriors, their soul strength was already very strong. Luo Feng was able to easily hypnotize them, but to wipe their memories alone was almost impossible already. To search through was a definite impossible thing to do. Probably only Undyings could directly search through a universe-level warrior's memories, hypnotizing the opponent, making him tell me the way. Luo Feng shook his head. This Demon Note Mountain is a super maze. The paths are incredibly complex, just the number of pathways alone are countless. Capturing a universe-level punk and making him lead the way. Luo Feng shook his head, still no. My movement speed is very fast, I don't have to care about the demon notes. These universe-level aboriginals however have to be incredibly careful about them, because the moment they meet a stronger one they would become zombies. No matter how he thought, Luo Feng still felt searching for a quantum computer or AI was still better. No matter, those able to come to Demon Note Mountain were all strong warriors of 9-star Bay. A small portion of them should have quantum computers. Luo Feng disguised himself as an aboriginal and proceeded. Those within Demon Note Mountain were indeed mad. As long as Luo Feng encountered anyone in the caves, those that thought themselves stronger than Luo Feng would immediately make a move and try to kill him. Luo Feng spent 4 days, killed 9 aboriginals. After killing the 9th, he finally acquired that aboriginal's armed quantum computer. Barbata. Hack in and find a way out. Luo Feng ordered. Understood. Barbata swiftly hacked into the average quantum computer. I've already found the path. Barbata said excitedly, we'll be able to leave soon. Ah? Luo Feng revealed an expression of glee. Finally. He was finally able to leave Demon Note Mountain, and it really wasn't easy. Rumble. A strong formless energy swept past that region. Luo Feng himself didn't realize anything. Barbata however immediately shouted out, Luo Feng, be careful, it's a world energy scan. There should be a Sector Lord warrior nearby. Sector Lord? Luo Feng frowned. Against Sector Lord warriors, Luo Feng wasn't too afraid. 19.3 kilometer. 10 kilometers, he's here. Barbata shouted. Luo Feng however only frowned as he looked in the distant spacious ice cave. A silhouette swiftly appeared. It was a silver-skinned man with no hair at all, 2 curved horns on his forehead. He gazed at Luo Feng, like a lion hunting its prey. He gave off a powerful evil energy. You, a Universe Level 9 punk, you are actually able to kill a Domain Lord Level 3 fighter, the silver-skinned Sector Lord said coldly. Looks like you have some treasures on you. Luo Feng continued to look coldly at him. Suddenly he turned and fled. Luo Feng fled incredibly quickly. You wish to run? The silver-skinned Sector Lord swiftly chased. Barbata, how strong is this punk? Luo Feng swiftly swapped to the Mosha clansman while fleeing. The Mosha clansman took on the form Luo Feng had of an aboriginal immediately. Sector Lord Level 5? Barbata said. Ah, only Level 5? Mosha Luo Feng's face revealed a smile. Little punk, you can't get away. That cold voice resounded in Luo Feng's ears as the silhouette almost instantly reached before Luo Feng. Mosha Luo Feng however flashed in a peculiar movement. He actually turned and fled in the direction he came from. Simultaneously a seemingly simply built laser gun appeared in his hands. E9 laser gun. This laser gun had the style of the automaton race, simplicity. That's the weapon you used to kill a Domain Lord Level 3? Looks like a laser gun, haha, that's a rare valuable. The silver-skinned Sector Lord's voice resounded in the caves. He however continued to rush Luo Feng. His speed was shocking. Mosha Luo Feng fiercely turned and flashed, easily dodging the attack. What? The silver-skinned Sector Lord's expression changed greatly. Mosha Luo Feng's sudden turn and flash, the instantaneous speed it displayed, it was simply unbelievable. It actually left the Sector Lord Level 5 behind in speed. The E9 laser warning light turned from red to green. 0.1 seconds had passed. The storage was complete. Kai? Luo Feng gently pressed the button. He coldly looked at the raging Sector Lord, his lips gently mouthing the words, not making a sound as he said, go and die. The extremely glaring white pillar of light instantly pierced right through the Sector Lord and later into the frozen stone walls of the cave. The ice layer melted and steam filled the air. The black stone instantly split apart and the extreme low temperature in the cave suddenly shot up to extremely high temperatures. The huge change in temperature made even more steam rise up within. Very quickly, everything began to freeze back up. Luo Feng stepped on the broken ice and walked to where the almost completely disintegrated body was. At that time, only the remains of the armor were left. There's no entrance to hell, but you forced your way in to die. Who can you blame? Luo Feng knelt down and swiftly found the Sector Lord's space ring. He used his spirit energy to pierce right in and with a scan, he revealed a smile. Haha, not only did you come here to die, you even come with gifts. A Sector Lord is indeed a Sector Lord, so many black tags. Luo Feng was incredibly gleeful. He kept a large amount of black tags in his space ring. With this new batch, the number of black tags I've collected have reached over 9,800. I just need a little more to hit 10,000. Before he started the Demon Note inheritance, Luo Feng had already collected close to 8,000 black tags. Plus the new batch, it was really close to 10,000. He just needed a little over 100 plus black tags should be easy to collect. I just have to meet a Domain Lord Level 8 or 9, and I'll probably have enough. Luo Feng was extremely gleeful. He began to follow the path out. On the way out, he met 10 others. With the Universe Level 9 strength his Earth body exuded, it indeed had attracted many Domain Lord level aboriginals to attack him. Naturally they were all easily killed by Luo Feng. This made his total count of black tags naturally rise up to 10k. Haha, I'm finally out. I've finally left the Demon Note Mountain super maze. Luo Feng smiled as he immediately flew out of Demon Note Mountain's most outermost cave exit. It was perpetually the same ice stone. As Luo Feng flew out of the outermost cave, with a glance he saw the endless space. Within he felt comfortable and free. I'm finally out. My trip here in Demon Note Mountain has come to an end. Luo Feng turned to look at the huge endless demon mountain. He exclaimed within, his reward from his trip to this mountain had indeed been shocking. The Demon Note inheritance had made his spirit energy amplitude rise up to over 3,200. Many spirit readers, under normal circumstances, only reach up to a 100. Making progress in deities of the world only at most increased one's strength up to 27 times. This inheritance was a priceless treasure. It's a pity I was too weak. My soul could only take so much of it. If I were at the Sector Lord pinnacle level, and I used the gold soul fruit, I probably could have made it into the second part, and once I step on the second part stairs, I would probably be able to see the end of it, the shrine of the second part. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation within. Back then when Luo Feng stood at about 10% of the first part, he could already see the shrine of the first part. According to his guess, he had to reach about 10% of the second part for the shrine to appear. Once it showed itself, only then would he be able to acquire the treasure within. It's a pity, I only made it to the late portion of the first part. If I can make it to 10% of the second part, I'll be able to use the Mosha clansman to retrieve the treasure in the second shrine, and after using it, I'll once again be able to go much further. As Luo Feng looked at Demon Note Mountain and exclaimed, from the distance, a team of silver-clothed staff swiftly flew over. Your Majesty, Luo Feng. The team of silver-clothed staff flew over and bowed respectfully, of which there were some that kept saying, congratulations on leaving Demon Note Mountain. Luo Feng nodded. Please follow us. The team didn't seem to dare to hesitate. There were two royalties within Demon Note Mountain at the time, one was Luo Feng and the other a member of the last phase region. In terms of status, Luo Feng was naturally much higher. The staff respectfully led Luo Feng towards the palace at the foot of Demon Mountain. Your Majesty Luo Feng. A white-clothed silhouette swiftly flew over. Ah, it's you, Yi-chan? Luo Feng immediately recognized the white-clothed youth. It was the one that led him 12 years ago when he arrived. Your Majesty still remembers my name. The white-clothed youth seemed very moved. Simultaneously, he said, for your Majesty to stay a total of 12 years in Demon Note Mountain and come out safely, it's really impressive. Even though he said so, the white-clothed youth was shocked within. If official Po Yu found out Luo Feng came out, she probably wouldn't be too happy. Within the cold palace, Po Yu sat in her throne. Her undying energy swept past Luo Feng and the white-clothed Yi-chan without them even realizing. With her ability, even Barbata's scanning device couldn't detect it. After all, in terms of strength, Po Yu was slightly stronger than Hu Yangbo back then. What's more, she focused on soul techniques. This Luo Feng is actually still alive, staying 12 years in Demon Note Mountain. He really has some ability. Po Yu said softly. Her eyes gleamed coldly. Kacha. Her right hand that was like an exquisite jade stone immediately crushed the right arm support and reduced it to dust. However, there will be a day. Po Yu said softly. What? Po Yu's expression changed greatly. 10,000 black tags. That Luo Feng actually collected 10,000 black tags. Po Yu wasn't as sure as before. All she was left with was shock and rage. Luo Feng was chatting while walking with the youth Yi-chan. 10,000 black tags. The white-clothed Yi-chan was filled with shock as he looked at Luo Feng. Your Majesty Luo Feng, collecting these 10,000 black tags is even harder than the survival mission. It's been a long time since anyone collected the 10,000 black tags. Only Mo Luo from before completed it. Mo Luo? Luo Feng frowned. He completed it too. To collect 10,000 black tags, the quickest way was to kill Sector Lord warriors. And for a Universe Level 9 to kill Sector Lords, how impossible was that? Simply relying on strength was impossible. They would have to rely on assisting life forms, technological weapons, etc. He relied on the Mosha clansman body and the E9 laser, the combination of both. What did Mo Luo us, right? The white-clothed youth nodded. His Majesty Mo Luo did indeed complete it. However, he only stayed over 3 years in Demon Note Mountain before leaving. His speed sure was fast. Luo Feng laughed indifferently. To collect 10,000 black tags alone is extremely hard. I took up to 12 years to actually complete it. This Mo Luo did indeed collect the black tags a lot faster than I did. The white-clothed youth said, Your Majesty Luo Feng, to persevere 12 years to collect the black tags, your willpower is shocking. Even though he spoke the words, he was uneasy within. This absolute genius Luo Feng was too suicidal to collect enough black tags. He actually stayed in Demon Note Mountain for 12 years. That was an impossible level mission place. Staying 12 years, even if one's luck was good, he would still ultimately meet Sector Lord Aboriginals and Sector Lord Beasts. I really don't know how he managed to survive. The white-clothed youth Yi Chang muttered to himself. After a while, Yi Chang brought Luo Feng to a palace. Your Majesty Luo Feng, as you acquired 10,000 black tags, you are naturally able to receive the huge reward. This huge reward will be personally presented to you by Skyfeather Emperor, who's stationed here by the Virtual Universe Company. Yi Chang smiled. Please wait a moment, I'll go inform them. Please wait for Skyfeather Emperor to come see you. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. As he watched Yi Chang leave, Luo Feng was shocked within. Skyfeather Emperor? After following his teacher for so long, Luo Feng had heard of a few absolute beings, the difference in levels between the Emperor-level Undyings, and of which the beings that were extremely close to the level of Universe country leaders. Just like his teacher True Yang Emperor. And Skyfeather Emperor was one that his teacher had mentioned before. He even specially complimented this name. Among the Emperor-level Undyings, there were very few that True Yang could not deal with, and Skyfeather Emperor was one of them. According to what teacher said, this Skyfeather Emperor is proficient in space and time laws. He is an absolute being that practices the universe Primal Chaos tablet. Even my teacher cannot deal with him. He has an extremely high position in the Virtual Universe Company. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation within. He really wanted to meet such a legendary person. Like True Yang Emperor, Skyfeather Emperor was another legendary level being. Mist Emperor was far below. After a while, Your Majesty Luo Feng, Lord Skyfeather Emperor is currently in his feather palace waiting. The white-clothed Yi Chang smiled and said, please follow me. Luo Feng nodded. He immediately followed the white-clothed Yi Chang and flew into the many palaces at the foot of the mountain. After flying for about 2 minutes, they arrived at a majestic 100 kilometers tall enormous palace. The entire outer walls of this palace had strange bird-like creatures engraved all over. These bird creatures had 3 wings and 3 eyes. At the top of their heads they had feathers that were like a crown. What was special was one of their vertical eyes. Even though these were only huge engravings, that one eye of the bird still gave off a bone-chilling feeling like it could see through space and time. Your Majesty, please enter. I'm not allowed to follow you in here. The white-clothed Yi Chang stood outside the palace. The gold-armored guard standing in an orderly fashion outside opened a path for Luo Feng to walk through. There were over 1,000 guards there, of which there were 10 Undyings. Undyings standing as guards? Luo Feng felt like this was unbelievable. His teacher True Yang Emperor wasn't as extravagant. And the Undyings were normally proud warriors. Even if they submitted to a strong being to be ordered to watch the door, they wouldn't normally agree. Unless it was for some special reason. Luo Feng immediately took a big stride into Feather Palace. Feather Palace's first level was the main hall. It was incredibly majestic, a dazzling sight. The entire hall was gold and black, 2 colors matching each other. Luo Feng became a beam of light and flew into the hall. After a while, he saw a glaring silhouette in the throne above, and below at the 2 sides sat many other silhouettes. Greetings, Skyfeather Emperor. Luo Feng bowed respectfully. True Yang has collected a good disciple. In the throne above, a voice resounded from the glaring silhouette. His voice boomed throughout the entire hall. This hall alone was close to 100 kilometers long and wide. In theory, the amount of time needed for his voice to travel was very long. However, the moment he opened his mouth, it resounded throughout. Luo Feng only looked up then. He saw the glaring silhouette in the throne. He had golden yellow long hair, or which his eyes had a hint of jade blue. At his forehead his vertical eye was the only golden one. He had a high nose bridge, thin lips. However, as he gazed down below, it made Luo Feng feel as he looked up, there was a sense of an endless space before him. That natural power. It unconsciously made others submit. What a terrifying being, indeed a being on par with my teacher. Luo Feng was shocked within. When one reaches the level of True Yang and Skyfeather Emperor, the beings closest to becoming universe country leaders, even in the virtual universe, they wouldn't be underlings of any country leader or knight anymore. They were already extremely close to that level. They no longer needed to rely on such other beings. Beside, Luo Feng's gaze turned. On the 2 sides below the throne sat a total of 24 people. They all had different appearances, some tall and sturdy, some beautiful, others cold. However, according to Luo Feng's long time in Primal Chaos experience with his seniors, he could deduce that these 24 before him were probably all Undying level. Take out your 10,000 black tags. The glaring silhouette in the throne said. Yes. Luo Feng waved and immediately a bunch of black tags appeared according to the Demon Mountain rules. You've collected 10,000 black tags, hence you are eligible to receive a huge reward. Sky Feather Emperor gazed below at the tiny silhouette. He said indifferently, I'll now give you 3 prizes to choose from, you can only pick one. The moment he said that, the 24 Undyings below seemed to change their expression slightly, however they all didn't dare make a sound. Of the 24, official Po Yu thought within, what's going on with Lord Skyfeather? Doesn't he normally just give one treasure? Why is he giving this punk a chance to choose? Po Yu was extremely unsatisfied within, yet she didn't dare make single sound. Skyfeather Emperor's word was law. The moment one defied him, the result was very possibly death. Luo Feng didn't know himself that normally only one reward was given. To him, being able to pick from 3 different prizes was normal. 3 rewards? Luo Feng looked with anticipation at Skyfeather Emperor up in the throne. The first treasure is the chrysalis armor. Skyfeather Emperor said slowly high in the throne. The chrysalis armor is one of the more favorite armors amongst the Undyings. Its defensive abilities are not bad. If a Sector Lord level 1 or 2 uses it, it can completely defend against any attack under Undying level unless it's a soul attack. You are a spirit reader, all the more you should focus on defense. This armor will suit you well. Luo Feng was shocked within as he heard, if a Sector Lord level 1 wore that armor, it was akin to having complete defense against anything under Undying level unless it was a soul attack. It was indeed a favorite armor amongst the Undyings. Barbata too shouted within his consciousness, chrysalis armor. Luo Feng, your teacher only didn't need all these armors back then after he evolved his cloud contact vine to Undying level. Otherwise, even for you teacher, this chrysalis armor is not bad. Its auction price usually reaches 800,000 to 1 million mixed elements. Luo Feng was shocked as he heard. 800,000 to 1 million mixed elements. The entire price of the Black Dragon Mountain Star Field was only about 300,000 to 1 million mixed elements. And an armor was actually worth more than the vast star field? The second reward is a palm-size flame void gold. Its weight is about 3.1 tons. Skyfeather Emperor continued, the flame void gold is an extremely valuable weapon material. Before you reach Undying level, you may purchase some spirit weapons etc. However, after you become Undying, you'll need to build weapons that fit the techniques you create. The flame void gold belongs to an extremely rare class of materials for building weapons. Luo Feng blinked. Palm size of material, the third is cash. Skyfeather Emperor said in his throne, that chrysalis armor and flame void gold are both worth about 500,000 mixed elements, hence, the third prize is 500,000 mixed elements cash. If you are dissatisfied with the previous 2 choices, you can pick cash, and you can buy whatever you need after. You can only pick one of the 3. Skyfeather Emperor gazed at Luo Feng, choose. The other 24 official level Undyings under him all changed their expressions, they were all shocked within. They had followed Skyfeather Emperor for extremely long. It had been very long since they saw him speak so much. The huge reward was actually simply something fixed within the virtual universe company's choices. Usually they would casually pick a prize that was close to the amount just to satisfy those that collected the 10,000 black tags. However this time, firstly, Skyfeather Emperor took out 3 prizes. That was shocking enough. The chrysalis armor, even the Undyings would all vie and fight for it. If Luo Feng used it, he could use it all the way till he reached Undying level. The flame void gold, that was even more rare and valuable. Even Skyfeather Emperor himself said it was rare and very valuable. Just a palm size of it alone was that valuable. Finally, the cash. Actually, in comparison, the cash was the lousiest of the 3. However, Skyfeather Emperor had said if Luo Feng was dissatisfied with the 2 choices, he could use the cash to buy what he truly needed. This was completely all for Luo Feng's sake. They had rarely ever seen Skyfeather Emperor treat someone so courteously. Barbata, which should I choose? Luo Feng asked within. Even though he had some idea within, his experience and perspective was indeed weaker. Barbata had seen and experienced a lot more. The chrysalis armor is not needed at this time, as we can quickly nurture the cloud contact vine to Sector Lord level. Nurturing it to Sector Lord level 9 isn't hard. As for becoming Undying, once it becomes Undying, with your background and a level of favor from the virtual universe company, it'll probably be even better than the chrysalis armor. And the moment you find a way to evolve your cloud contact vine to Undying, there'll be no more need of the chrysalis armor. As for cash, you don't need it anyway, because your teacher's entire account is in the bank. As long as you go there at Domain Lord level, to any of the Universe Galaxy banks in any star field, you can retrieve his inheritance. Hence, you don't lack cash. Right now, the most important thing to you is the Flame Void Gold, even though that Skyfeather Emperor said that both the Chrysalis armor and the Flame Void Gold are worth 500,000 mixed elements. I have to say, Skyfeather Emperor's position is extremely revered, hence he can acquire those items at 500,000 mixed elements. In truth, like I mentioned earlier, the Chrysalis armor auctions at 800,000 to 1 million mixed elements, and the Flame Void Gold auctions at 1.5 million to 2 million mixed elements. Barbata said, "Why is the Flame Void Gold so much more expensive than the Chrysalis armor? And Skyfeather Emperor, why can he buy them at only 500,000 mixed elements?" Luo Feng was curious. Because the Flame Void Gold is extremely rare and few, almost all of it has been taken by the absolute beings. Barbata said, the rarer a material is, the more expensive it gets. Maybe Skyfeather Emperor may be able to buy it, but other Undyings, even if they are willing to fork out twice the amount, they wouldn't be able to buy it. In comparison, there's a lot more of that Chrysalis armor around. Also, Luo Feng, you'll eventually need to create your own suitable techniques. This is a path any strong warrior will have to walk, and normally at the pinnacle of Sector Lord level, you'll begin to create your own techniques. During that time, you'll begin to search for materials to build your own weapons. Barbata said. The 3 rewards that Skyfeather Emperor displayed had indeed made the 24 official level Undyings suspicious. Just what background did this Luo Feng have to make him that way? True Yang Emperor's disciple? It couldn't be just that. After all, in terms of status, Skyfeather Emperor was almost equal to True Yang. There was no need to be on good terms with him. And Skyfeather's character was extremely prideful. He didn't even really care too much about some of the universe country leaders. Even if they were stronger than him, when Skyfeather Emperor unleashed his greatest technique, if he truly wished to flee, even the universe country leaders would find it hard to kill him. Actually, in the vast universe, the group that were deemed extremely close to becoming universe country leaders, the Emperor-level Undyings, they may not be a match for the universe country leaders in an all-out fight. However, they all had their own great abilities that allowed them to rule over the universe. They still definitely had the ability to survive the fight. This was also the reason why they didn't need to rely on the universe country leaders. Lord Skyfeather, I'll pick the second reward, Flame Void Gold. Luo Feng said respectfully. Below the throne, official Po Yu frowned. She snorted coldly within. This universe level 9 punk actually knows that the Flame Void Gold is the best choice of the 3, HMPH. He must just be extremely lucky. Po Yu seemed to completely dislike Luo Feng. Ha ha. In the throne above, Skyfeather Emperor laughed out loudly. Very well, this piece of Flame Void Gold is yours. With a toss, the completely transparent piece of crystal with a hint of gold glowing within passed through space instantly and appeared before Luo Feng. My god, teleportation? Luo Feng was shocked. He saw it very clearly. That crystal vanished from Skyfeather Emperor's hand and appeared right before him. Even though he could resonate with the universe space, he could only faintly feel its ripples. After completing the Demon Mountain mission, you should be returning to the Primal region. Skyfeather Emperor said. Luo Feng couldn't care about observing this piece of Flame Void Gold. He immediately kept it in his space ring and replied respectfully, yes, even though I've entered the Primal region for a few years, I've spent all these years in Demon Mountain. Hence I haven't once entered the Primal region. I'll arrange for a universe ship to send you directly there. After he finished, Skyfeather Emperor vanished from the throne. After a while, Luo Feng sat in the universe ship that Skyfeather Emperor had specially arranged for him. As he left Demon Mountain, not too far away in a space region specially cleared, it began to accelerate and enter universe transfer. This Skyfeather Emperor sure is courteous. Luo Feng sat in the cabin and flipped his hand, revealing the 3.1-ton palm-sized transparent metal. The entire metal was like a clear crystal, even more transparent than a crystal. If one didn't take notice, it was almost like air itself, only it had very fine hints of gold within. He rubbed the Flame Void Gold. Even then he could feel the space about it slightly ripple. What a peculiar metal. Luo Feng was shocked within. He immediately sent a piece of his consciousness into the virtual universe network, sending a letter to his teacher True Yang Emperor, telling him everything about him acquiring the Flame Void Gold and the rewards choices etc. Naturally he explained the entire process, because he felt that Skyfeather Emperor was incredibly friendly. After a while, he received a reply from his teacher. Luo Feng opened it to look. Your teacher had once saved Skyfeather's life, however very few in the universe know about this. Don't spread it. Reputation is very important to Skyfeather Emperor. If you respect him, he will return it tenfold. Teacher, you are vicious. Luo Feng starred. So it was that way. Normally the more proud a person was, the more he couldn't owe debts. What's more, the debt of having his life saved by another. This teacher of mine is explosive and straightforward. I heard he's offended many. He even told me to be careful and prudent when I become domain lord level and become a governor of a territory. However, from the looks of it now, even though he indeed has enemies, he also has friends all around. And very powerful friends. Luo Feng sighed and smiled. Time passed. After 3 months, the universe ship finally entered the Primal region. After the ship went through universe transfer and re-entered the actual universe, it flew for half a day before reaching the core living area of the Primal region geniuses. Your Majesty Luo Feng, ahead lies the 113 villas where the geniuses live. A tall and sturdy man with 3 pairs of silver wings pointed ahead. The external simulation also allowed Luo Feng to see the distant 136 stars. The enormous 136 stars revolved constantly in the space. It was incredibly mysterious. Luo Feng watched on. Suddenly the image of the leader of Tianxia Palace demonstrating the 9 black flame planets and the space laws appeared in his mind. It's quite similar. Luo Feng felt the movement of the 136 stars revolving, feeling them resonate with the wonders of the space laws. These 136 stars naturally form their own space. The geniuses that live here are incredibly safe. Even universe country leader level warriors have no way to barge into this space. The silver-winged man laughed and explained, this is also something the virtual universe company has spent a countless amount of energy and resources to prepare for its later generation. Luo Feng was shocked within. 136 planets, forming their own space. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.